Good afternoon, folks. This is Annette of AnnetteLeonard.com, back again with another moment for chronic wellness. Thank you for being here. We are talking about sewing up the end of 2019 and jumping into the new year. Happy 2020. I am looking back at the year that has passed and thinking about wisdom or knowledge or things that I have learned. And a friend of mine was asking me about these videos that I make, and she said, well, how are you ready to do that? And I thought about it for a few minutes, and I thought, I don't know that I was. I mean, when I started this, I didn't know what a thumbnail was on YouTube. I didn't have any idea what editing software was out there or how to use it. I wasn't even sure what the process of loading videos onto YouTube was. I just knew that I had this message in my heart that I was ready to put out into the world, and I was just willing to start moving forward. And I am the nerd who has already gone to see the new Star Wars movie. It's good. And somebody in leadership says very much the same thing. I'm not ready for this leadership role. And somebody in the Rebel Alliance, and somebody else to him, I think it's Han Solo, says, oh, no, not Han, but Poe says, no one ever is. And I thought, right. And that is also true, of course, with chronic illness, right? Like, no child says, gosh, when I grow up, I'm going to get very sick, and it's going to impact every aspect of my life, and it's going to short circuit all the plans that I hoped I was going to make. Like, this is no one's dream. And so when it comes to ready, I can't imagine that there is any of you out there watching or listening to this thinking, I was ready, Annette. Yep, I beg to differ. I was ready. Ready is how I would describe myself when it comes to chronic illness. I mean, yes, many of us have seen others go through chronic illness, so that is one kind of preparation, but being prepared for it ourselves, there is no ready. And even in the midst of getting our rhythms down and getting our feet back underneath us after that wave has tossed us and we have lost all bearing, and then we, have a moment, perhaps years in, where we do get our feet underneath us and we start to feel like, okay, I've got this. And then the new wave comes, a new diagnosis or a new relapse or change of life circumstances. Our parents die, or we have to file for bankruptcy, or we don't get disability, or whatever it is. There is no ready. And part of what I've learned is there is no ready, and that's okay. I am resourceful, and I am resilient. And regardless of the fact that I never have been and I never am going to be ready, I'm pretty fucking indestructible. And come what may, I know how to make decisions for myself. I know this body of mine. I've learned when to accept a doctor's suggestion and when to say, that is not going to work for me. I am learning how to ride the waves with my friends, even when I'm losing some of them. I am learning how to weather the disappointment and how to accept the hardship and the heartache without transforming it into suffering. I've got more experience at this than I ever wanted to have. And I'm sorry if that's also true of you. But what that means is I'm as ready as I'm ever going to be. I didn't mean to be ready for this. It's certainly not something I want to be good at. But I know myself. And that is a pure and true gift. And I'm not sure that I would have the clarity of how essential that is if I hadn't been tested this hard, this young. I think a lot of this hard-fought knowledge would have come much later in life. And so I have some gratitude for the knowledge I've gained and the things I know at this point, because I've worked hard to know them. I've worked hard to know them. So, ready or not, here it is. This is the journey. It is uniquely mine, just as yours is uniquely yours. So, I can either shy away from it, or I can walk boldly forward and face what needs to be faced. And while I may not do that every minute of every day, that is my goal. That is my desire. That is the way I mean to be operating. Thanks for being here. I look forward to seeing you again soon. And I look forward to seeing what 2020 has to offer. There's going to be some good stuff in there. It's not all bad. Sending love to you and yours. And until we're together again, be well.